All right, here's a blast from the past. I remember this back in the Nixon days, this old Republican playbook. Nixon did this back when United States went off the gold standard and we had stagflation. So it looks like government cheese and government boxes are back. This is from Politico. Trump pitches plan to replace food stamps with food boxes. The Trump administration is proposing to save billions in the coming years by giving low-income families a box of government-picked, non-perishable foods every month instead of food stamps. White House OMB Director Mick Mulvaney on Monday hailed the idea as one that kept up with the modern era, calling it a Blue Apron type program, a nod to the high-end meal kit delivery company that had one of the worst stock debuts in 2017 and has struggled to hold on to. Mulvaney said that the administration's plan would not only save the government money, but also provide people with more nutritious food than they have now. The proposal, buried in the White House's fiscal 2019 budget, will replace about half of the money most families receive via the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as food stamps, with the Department of Agriculture is calling America's Harvest Box. That package would be made up of 100% U.S. grown and produced food and would include items like shelf-stable milk, peanut butter, canned fruits, and meats and cereal. But America's Harvest Box, which USDA contends would save over $129 billion over 10 years, is not very comparable to startup meal delivery companies like Blue Apron. For one, the Trump administration's proposal doesn't include fresh items like produce or meat, which are the core of Blue Apron and its competitors. Such products perish quickly and are incredibly expensive to ship. Asked about how delivery would work, USDA spokesman Tim Murtaugh clarified that states would have flexibility in how they chose to distribute the food to SNAP recipients. In other words, the federal government almost certainly would not be picking up the tab for any type of Amazon-style delivery system. The projected savings does not include shipping door-to-door for all recipients, Murtaugh said. Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue praised the Harvest Box plan as a bold, innovative approach that would give SNAP participants the same level of food value as the current system while saving taxpayers money. The idea that USDA would provide millions of low-income people packages of food on a national scale has not been floated by conservative think tanks, promoted by industry, or sought by previous administration. Murtaugh said the concept was developed internally at USDA. Mulvaney on Monday credited Perdue for it during a briefing at the White House. Secretary Perdue wanted to give it a chance, he said. We thought it was a tremendous idea. Numerous questions remain, such as how these boxes would be customized for, say, a family that has a child with nut allergies, or for those who don't eat certain types of meat out of religious or personal reasons. The proposal was so out of left field that some anti-hunger advocates thought it was a joke. Kevin Concanon, who oversaw SNAP during the Obama administration, was aghast when he saw the proposal. Holy mackerel, he said, Concanon, who said it reminded him of when poor people had to line up and wait for local officials to dole out food and other welfare benefits. I don't know where this came from, but I suspect that the folks, when they were drawing it up, were also watching silent movies. Other anti-hunger advocates said the concept was reminiscent of wartime rations or soup lines during the Great Depression. The Food Research and Action Center, a prominent nonprofit group, called the Harvest Box idea a Rube Goldberg-designed system that would be costly, inefficient, stigmatizing, and prone to failure. In budget materials, USDA would be able to deliver this food at approximately half the retail cost, acclaimed advocates found hard to believe. Food stamp recipients would get their remaining monthly allotment in debit cards that they can use in grocery stores as they do now. The proposal applies to households receiving at least $90 a month in benefits, which covers more than 80% of SNAP recipients. That's more than 16 million households. This proposal focuses on ensuring that all SNAP recipients receive the nutritious food they need at substantial savings by harnessing USDA's purchasing power and America's agricultural abundance, Murtaugh told Politico. Grocery retailers also balked at the proposal, including the Food Marketing Institute, which recipients major retailers like Walmart, Kroger, and Albertsons, where tens of billions of dollars in SNAP benefits are spent each year. The industry argues that government-packed food boxes would simply be inefficient. Jennifer Hatcher, the trade group's chief public policy officer, said grocery retailers had worked with USDA and Congress over many years to achieve a national system utilizing existing commercial infrastructure and technology to achieve the greatest efficiency, availability, and lowest cost. As we understand the proposal in the president's budget to create a USDA commodity foods box of staples, each of these achievements would be lost, Hatcher said. Perhaps this proposal would save money in one account, but based on our decades of experience in the program, it would increase costs in other areas that would negate savings. Administration officials pointed out that USDA already distributes commodities. Currently, such food items are largely shipped to schools, food banks, and other organizations, which in turn distribute the food to those who need it. The Commodity Supplemental Food Program, for example, sends boxes of food to some 600,000 low-income elderly with the help of food banks and other nonprofits. The fiscal 2019 budget seeks to eliminate that program and combine it with the Harvest Box program. However, a plan for SNAP recipients would be an exponentially larger undertaking, covering more than 16 million households. While grocery and meal delivery companies are growing more common, the scale is still relatively small and largely confined to urban areas. Blue Apron, for example, has around 1 million customers. There are also questions about how the government would get harvest boxes to rural and remote households and whether cutting SNAP benefits spent in stores would hurt mom and pop stores in small communities. This action will not only destabilize attempts to bring more healthy, fresh foods into the homes of America's food insecure, but would keep dollars out of local grocery stores and farmers markets, which are critical assets to all communities, says Jordan Rasmussen, a policy associate at the Center for Rural Affairs, a progressive rural advocacy group. Cannon, who retired from USDA at the end of the Obama administration, noted that it would ultimately be up to Congress on whether to fund such a proposal, something he said lawmakers on Capitol Hill weren't likely to be even remotely interested in creating. Even the people who put this forward have to know that the chances of this happening is the same chance of me captaining the next spaceship launching from Florida, he said. This is written by Catherine Boudreau, and Sarah Ferris contributed to this report. And that is from Politico. What can I tell you? I don't know if this has a chance of passing, but just the idea that this is being drawn up is like feeling the wheels of the bus getting ready to run over taxpayers and people in America. They don't hesitate to give corporations trillions of dollars and all kinds of tax breaks and incentives, and the rest of the population gets a lump of coal. This has been done before. I remember the government cheese, the government powdered milk, which they call shelf-stable milk, the big old can of peanut butter, the Spam that was in the cans, which is shelf-stable meat. And I remember that clearly when we were poor. And the rest you had to scrape up together. Now, my mother fed 5 kids on that for about a year or two, which is not one of those things that you fondly remember. Let me tell you, when they start proposing USDA boxes, you know that you're getting ready to hit bottom. And I have a funny feeling that this idea will go through. It's been done twice, once under Nixon and once under Reagan. So this is just the latest Republican proposal. Hooverville and Hoover boxes for the poor. And this is just getting started. I told you 2018 was going to be one hell of a year. They should go ahead and pass these boxes on Valentine's Day. It would be apropos. A love letter to the American public. But with that, I'm going to jump off of here. This is just a small taste. There's more coming. Since Hater Week is officially over, I'm going to get back to doing what I've been doing in the past, bringing you some of the information I think folks need to know. And this is one of them. And this is a shout out to Julius Garcia. He's doing yeoman's work, feeding me articles. And it's a tip of my hat to him. But I'm going to jump off of here. This is BGS out, and I'll see you guys a little later.